Hi, thanks for joining me today for another episode of White Woman in Distress. This podcast is about raising awareness for missing kids, teens, and adults. My goal is to help spread the word and find those who are missing. We need to come together as a community to find these people. We need to stop ignoring what we see and start looking out for each other. I understand that you want to stay safe, but it's important to speak up when you notice something's wrong. If someone you loved was missing, you would want people to help. People who think this could never happen to me need to understand it can happen to anyone. Every day, children, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles go missing. You don't have to put yourself at risk. You can always call tips in anonymously. Our goal should be to bring everyone home safely. Everyone deserves to know what happened, and families deserve closure. Viewer discretion is advised. This content may discuss violence, sexual assault, and murder, which may be distressing to some. Listener discretion is advised. In this episode, we explore the disappearance of Johnathan Edward Hagans, drawing information from several reputable sources, including the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, the Charlie Project, local news archives from the Florida Times-Union, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We also reference statements from law enforcement and community members involved in the search efforts. Welcome to White Woman in Distress. This podcast is dedicated to raising awareness about missing persons and cold cases. I'm your host, and today we're going to be discussing the mysterious disappearance of Johnathan Edward Hagans from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. This case has puzzled investigators and left a community searching for answers for decades. And it's crazy because after you do hear about this story, you really are just kind of dumbfounded and you just don't know what it could have been or what actually happened. So Johnathan was last seen on June 11th, 1968 at a family gathering in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. He was enjoying the day out with his family, picking wildflowers with his sister, Dorothea. As the day went on, the children wandered off to explore the area, which is pretty typical of children at any family gathering I've ever been to. That's kind of what they did. Like, the kids got to hang out, but then they go on a walk, and then, like, the parents hang out, and just... It was a typical family outing that turned into a nightmare, like an absolute nightmare, when Johnathan disappeared without a trace. Like, zero. There was nothing. Like, no signs. As soon as Johnathan was reported missing, the search began. Family members, friends, and local authorities scoured the area, hoping to find any sign of him. They searched the beach, nearby wooded areas, and even the water, fearing he might have drowned. Despite their efforts, no trace of Johnathan was found. The community rallied together with volunteers joining the search, but the hope of finding him faded as the days turned into weeks. Which I find so odd because I feel like if he had drowned, they still would have found something. There would have been evidence of him in the water. There would have been evidence of him anywhere getting picked up. Like, there's just so many things that don't add up, and with very little details about what actually went down. It's wild to think that there's no trace of this boy who was there all day, and then all of a sudden nothing. Some believe that Johnathan might have been kidnapped, while others thought he could have wandered off and gotten lost. There were also suspicions about whether someone close to the family could have been involved. However, no solid leads or suspects were ever identified, and the case grew cold. Jacksonville Beach is a popular destination for family outings and vacations, and it became the center of a tragic mystery. The disappearance of a young boy in such a bustling area was a shock, and it raised questions about safety and vigilance. The community was left on edge, with parents becoming more cautious about letting their children out of their sight. Johnathan's case highlights the broader issue of missing children and the challenges faced by families and law enforcement in finding them. The case underscores the importance of community involvement and awareness in addressing these disappearances. Over the years, cases like Johnathan's have led to increased efforts to improve search and rescue operations, as well as support the affected families. As we conclude today's episode, we remember Johnathan Edward Hagans and the pain his family has endured for decades. It's crucial to stay vigilant and support efforts to find missing children. If you have any information about Johnathan's case or other missing children, please contact the relevant authorities. Together, we can make a difference and bring hope to families still searching for their loved ones. Now, his family is still currently looking for him. His brother is actually back down in Florida, still hoping to receive some answers. So I am very hopeful that if we get this spread around, somebody will know something and somebody can say something, because that is the ultimate goal, is to raise awareness, but also try to provide families with some closure. Thanks for joining me today. And as always, stay safe and vigilant, but also if you see something, say something or do something. You can always call tips in anonymously. You don't have to put your name attached to any of it.